Have you ever considered the idea of remarriage, but found yourself questioning whether it's the right decision? Getting married later in life offers a distinctly unique experience compared to tying the knot when you were younger. There are certain truths that individuals frequently ignore until it becomes too late. Regardless of whether you've been single for some time, recently divorced, or even widowed, entering into a new marriage presents distinct challenges that can influence your finances, relationships, and overall happiness in ways you might not have thought about. This video reveals 5 crucial insights you should be aware of before considering remarriage after the age of 60. These perspectives could transform your understanding of love, commitment, and long-term security during this phase of your life. Many individuals hastily enter into remarriage without considering the potential effects it may have on their future. Eventually, they encounter unforeseen stress and challenges. With the right knowledge, you can choose what's best for you, a source of satisfaction, tranquility, and steadiness. Make sure to stick around until the conclusion, as grasping these 5 truths may help you sidestep unnecessary pain and guarantee that any new relationship you pursue is genuinely suitable for you. If you're thinking about remarrying in the near future, or simply looking into the idea, this is something you should pay attention to. Let's dive in. First and foremost, financial circumstances shift after the age of 60. One of the most significant surprises individuals encounter when remarrying later in life is the extent to which it can affect their financial circumstances. Many people think that remarrying is just about love and companionship, but the truth is that marriage also involves legal and financial obligations. Neglecting this can have repercussions on your retirement savings, Social Security benefits, pensions, and even the legacy you leave for your children or loved ones. Entering a marriage with the hope that it will simplify your life can lead to unexpected complications, especially regarding your financial future. A significant factor to think about is the impact of remarriage on Social Security benefits. It's important to understand that if you are getting benefits tied to a former spouse's work history, those benefits could be cut or completely stopped if you decide to remarry. This may be surprising, particularly if you depend on that income to support your way of life. Pensions and survivor benefits frequently have limitations, with certain ones becoming invalid if the recipient remarries. Before making any decisions, it's important to carefully review the terms if you or your partner receive pension payments. In addition to government benefits, we must also consider retirement, savings, and estate planning. Once you tie the knot, your financial circumstances involve more than just yourself. It now includes the assets, debts, and spending habits of another individual. Even if you and your new spouse maintain separate bank accounts, state laws could influence the division of assets in the case of a divorce or death, particularly if you have children or grandchildren. It's important to think about how a new marriage might influence their inheritance. Numerous individuals believe they can just pass their assets to their children as intended, but remarriage frequently alters that situation. Rights related to property and the distribution of wealth. Consider Robert, a 72-year-old who found love again after losing his spouse. He always believed that his children would take over his estate. However, following his remarriage, he discovered that his new wife had legal rights to his assets, which could result in his children receiving less than he had initially planned. He needed to manage challenging discussions and adapt to legal updates to guarantee the safety of those he valued. If you're thinking about getting remarried, it's wise to consult with a financial advisor or an estate planner. Ensure you grasp how it will affect your financial circumstances, your retirement, and any assets you intend to transfer. While these discussions might not seem romantic, they are crucial for safeguarding your future. Secondly, family dynamics can become quite intricate. Remarrying later in life means more than just merging two individuals. It involves intertwining families, backgrounds, and hopes. While love can unite two individuals, family dynamics often introduce unexpected complexities that many may not foresee. In contrast to younger couples who are starting their journey together from scratch, individuals over 60 typically enter a new marriage with adult children, grandchildren, and years of established family relationships. These relationships don't always come together as seamlessly as you may wish. A significant challenge is the way adult children respond to a new marriage. Although they wish for your happiness, they might grapple with loyalty to your former spouse, or have concerns about how this new relationship could impact family traditions, finances, or inheritance. Some individuals might embrace your new partner wholeheartedly, whereas others could experience feelings of resentment, suspicion, or even worry about your well-being. These feelings are entirely normal, but if not managed properly, they can lead to enduring strain that impacts not only your marriage, but your whole family. In addition to children, connections with grandchildren can also change. After years of being the main grandparent in their lives, bringing in a new spouse might seem like a change that disrupts their routine. Some might welcome it, whereas others may require some time to adapt. Your new spouse's family is no different. When they have children or grandchildren, merging traditions and expectations requires patience and empathy. One more aspect to take into account is the impact of remarriage on inheritance and financial issues. Children often have concerns that a new spouse could modify existing wills, change financial arrangements, or even take a share of what they believed was intended for them. Although finances might not be the primary focus in your new relationship, they frequently remain a subtle concern for family members. Conflicts can emerge not solely from greed, but rather from children's desire to uphold their parents' legacy as it was originally meant to be respected. Consider Susan, for instance. At 68, she tied the knot again after spending more than 10 years on her own. She thought her children would be pleased for her, but instead, she ended up dealing with awkward discussions about inheritance, holiday customs, and even her living arrangements. Although she was aware of her children's love for her, she soon understood that her new marriage needed honest conversations and reassurances to keep the family dynamic harmonious. Before you think about remarriage, it's important to have a conversation with your family. Clearly, communicate your intentions, pay attention to their concerns, and establish explicit expectations regarding what will change and what will remain the same. While it might require some time for everyone to adapt, tackling these issues from the outset can help avoid confusion and bitterness down the line. It's important to engage in these discussions with calmness, transparency, and the assurance that your choice is focused on seeking companionship, all while appreciating the connections you've nurtured throughout the years. If you're still tuned in to this video and appreciating these insights, please drop a comment with the number 2 below to show me you're present. If you haven't subscribed yet, I suggest you go ahead and subscribe and make sure to turn on the bell so you won't miss any videos. Your support enables us to keep producing valuable content that informs and inspires you. Let's proceed from here. Thirdly, emotional expectations vary. At this point in life, relationships appear distinct from how they were decades ago. In your younger days, marriage typically centered on creating a life together, nurturing children, purchasing a home, and advancing careers. However, after the age of 60, priorities change. Marriage doesn't always mean beginning anew. It's centered on partnership, emotional backing, and preserving autonomy while experiencing life alongside another person. This shift in dynamics is something that many individuals often overlook prior to remarrying, which can result in unforeseen difficulties. The level of independence that each individual contributes to the marriage is one of the most significant differences. Once you hit your 60s, 70s, or even later, you've likely developed routines, habits, and a lifestyle that works for you. You might possess your own residence, engage in personal interests, and follow a daily routine that brings you comfort. A new marriage brings another individual's habits, lifestyle choices, and expectations into your life. Making that adjustment can often be quite challenging. Many individuals believe that remarriage should come as easily as discovering the perfect partner. However, it actually demands a thoughtful approach to boundaries, personal space, and individual identity. In contrast to younger couples who might be establishing financial stability together at a later stage in life. Marriages typically consist of two people who possess financial stability and emotional independence. The reasons for uniting vary. Affection, togetherness, and mutual moments hold greater significance than outward successes. Nonetheless, this also implies that both partners must be explicit about their expectations, the amount of time they wish to share, their approach to disagreements, and how they can uphold personal independence while still fostering the relationship. One more aspect to take into account is previous emotional experiences. When you've experienced the loss of a spouse or endured a challenging divorce, the memories and feelings linger even after you enter a new marriage. Both you and your new partner, full noli ruris irisurum, carry with you years of experiences, past relationships, family ties, and deeply rooted views on love and commitment. This isn't negative. However, it does indicate that being emotionally available, patient, and empathetic is crucial. Your communication style, expressions of affection, and approach to disagreements can be influenced by your previous experiences. Understanding how to manage those differences is essential for a thriving second marriage. Consider Harold, for instance. At 75, he discovered love once more after being a widower for several years. However, he was taken aback by how distinct this new relationship was in comparison to his first marriage. His late wife had been his companion for many years, and the dynamics of their relationship were profoundly embedded in him. His new wife, on the other hand, had been divorced for a long time and cherished her independence in ways he had never experienced before. They needed time to discover their rhythm, to balance intimacy with individuality, to converse without referencing the past, and to wholeheartedly accept the distinct nature of their marriage. Before you consider remarrying, reflect on what you genuinely desire from this relationship. Are you seeking companionship while maintaining your usual daily routine? Are you interested in sharing a living space? Or would you rather keep your living spaces distinct? Are you prepared emotionally for the challenges of merging two well-established lives? Finding the answers to these questions can help guarantee that your next marriage is founded on shared understanding instead of unfulfilled expectations. Legal considerations are more important than you might realize. Marriage is not only an emotional bond, it also constitutes a legal agreement. Remarrying after 60 brings a level of legal complexity to the contract that is often greater than what one might encounter in younger years. Numerous individuals believe that love by itself is sufficient to ensure a successful marriage. However, if you don't grasp the legal implications, you could encounter unforeseen repercussions later on. Before you say, "I do," it's essential to tackle important legal issues, ranging from prenuptial agreements to medical decision-making rights. One of the initial aspects to think about is the impact of remarriage on your estate planning. Upon marriage, your partner might automatically acquire specific legal rights to your assets, regardless of your intentions to bequeath them to your children, grandchildren, or other cherished individuals. If you lack a clear plan, your estate might be divided in unexpected ways. Many individuals opt to revise their wills or create trusts prior to remarriage, making certain that their assets are allocated as they desire. A crucial legal aspect is the process of making medical decisions. In the event that you become unwell or unable to make decisions, who would be authorized to make medical decisions for you? Often, a spouse is prioritized over adult children or other relatives. This may lead to conflict, especially if your new partner and your children hold differing views on your care. Establishing advanced directives or a medical power of attorney can help articulate your preferences and avert possible disputes in the future. Prenuptial agreements serve as a valuable resource for ensuring clarity and safeguarding the interests of both partners. Although some individuals may be reluctant to discuss a prenuptial agreement due to concerns about it appearing unromantic, the truth is that it can aid in avoiding misunderstandings and guarantee that both partners are entering the marriage with well-defined expectations. A carefully crafted prenuptial agreement can specify the management of assets, debts, and financial obligations, minimizing the likelihood of conflicts in the future. Consider Eleanor, for instance. At 67, she found love again and was thrilled at the prospect of remarrying. Yet she also had considerable assets that she wished to pass on to her children. She and her fiancé engaged in an open dialogue and chose to create a prenuptial agreement that explicitly outlined their financial limits. This provided her with peace of mind and also assured her children that their inheritance was safe. Discussions about legal issues can often feel uneasy, yet they are essential. If you're thinking about remarriage, it's a good idea to consult with a lawyer who focuses on estate planning and family law. Engaging in these conversations from the start can help avoid misunderstandings and anxiety down the line, enabling you to concentrate on what is genuinely important, creating a meaningful and stable relationship. If you're still engaged with this video and appreciating these insights, please drop a comment with the number 4 below to show me you're present. If you haven't subscribed yet, I suggest you go ahead and subscribe and make sure to turn on the bell so you won't miss any videos. Your support enables us to keep producing valuable content that informs and inspires you. Let's proceed now. The definition of happiness evolves as we grow older. With age, our perception of happiness evolves. In our early years, marriage frequently represents the foundation of a future, nurturing a family, securing financial stability, or crafting a life together from the very beginning. However, beyond the age of 60, joy shifts away from the pursuit of creation. It's all about sustaining, relishing, and discovering satisfaction in the life you've built. Before you consider remarriage, it's crucial to reflect on whether this relationship truly aligns with the happiness you seek at this point in your life. Numerous individuals believe that remarrying will instantly lead to happiness. However, the reality is that joy in later life stems from different origins than it used to. For certain individuals, it's centered around having a partner and experiencing everyday moments together. For some, it's about preserving autonomy while enjoying a companion for meaningful experiences. For certain individuals, it's about maintaining their way of life and not having to give up on established routines and practices. It's essential to recognize what happiness means for you today, rather than how it was defined 30 or 40 years ago. One of the most significant errors individuals commit when remarrying after 60 is believing that love by itself will eliminate feelings of loneliness. Companionship is indeed a wonderful aspect of life, but it's essential to understand that true fulfillment originates from within oneself. If you're not content with yourself, getting married won't automatically fix that. Entering a marriage with the belief that it will fulfill you can lead to disappointment, particularly if the experience of sharing your life with someone feels more confining than anticipated. Another aspect to think about is how well lifestyles align. At this point in your life, you probably have solid routines in place, including how you spend your mornings, your travel preferences, and how you handle your social life. If your new partner lives in a significantly different manner, it may lead to tension instead of joy. Certain individuals thrive on spontaneity, whereas others lean towards a more structured approach.